Welcome to the Project Mom Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Gorey, mom of a sweet baby girl and an ever-evolving entrepreneur. On this show, we will explore the intersection of motherhood and entrepreneurship. We will share stories of moms just like you and me with the goal of fostering community and comfort in knowing that we are not alone in our experiences. Please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to ensure you get all the updated episodes and releases. Welcome to today's episode of the Project Mom Podcast. We'll be rounding out the season with 2 back-to-back solo episodes, and today is the first of those 2. And I wanted to start by touching on something that feels too prevalent at this time of year, right? It's this notion of New Year's resolutions, goal setting, new year, new you, all that jazz. There's a whole industry that capitalizes on personal growth, change, how to be better, especially as we head into the new year. And the marketing is on overdrive with that messaging. But what if we were just okay with who we are right now, right? At the weight that we are at, with the job that we have, with the goals that we have. And I would say that we can be, right? It can be okay to do that. Now, I do want to be clear in that I'm not recommending that you rest on your laurels and sit here indefinitely. But movement should be honoring, not driven through shoulds or comparisons. So can we be intentional about the choices we make and not get wrapped up in the right time of year to make that change? So I ask you, what is it that you want to achieve? Have you been putting anything off because you don't have time, right? What have you said that you'll tackle in the new year? For me, honestly, I've been feeling pretty sluggish in my body. I weigh the same right now as I did right after I gave birth to Olive almost 2 years ago. Now, for a while, right, the weight was slowly coming off just by daily routine. Chasing after a toddler will definitely do that. But now that Olive is almost 2, she's pretty independent and very capable on her feet. So I no longer feel I have to be right next to her every minute. And sure, I have eyes on her at all times, but I'm really less worried that she'll take a spill on the playground or, trip over something. And with experience comes confidence, right? And I love this part of motherhood. I love watching her explore. I'm really proud of all that she's capable of doing at this age, right? Her mind is truly amazing, and I am in awe and in love every day with how she shows up. And as she gets more incredible, I find myself believing that I've let myself go physically, right? I've been prioritizing journaling and meditation and self-care in the mornings before she wakes up. And I definitely rest on the couch during her nap times, right? And in the evening, I'm either spending time with my husband, we're watching a show that we're binging, or carving out some time to work on the podcast content. For me, physical movement has been my last priority, and it's been last on this list for months, if not for the last 2 years. And honestly, for that this last season of life, that was okay, right? I didn't feel the pull or the desire to carve out the time. Sure, right? I definitely had some moments of comparison, watching other moms be able to fit that into their schedule. But there's no beating myself up over this, right? For that season of my life, that was okay. And now I'm noticing this lack of intentional movement is catching up to me. And I feel that my priorities need a shift, right? A reevaluation in this current season of my life, because now that inactivity is no longer working for me. Most days I feel sluggish, I feel heavy. And for me, it's not necessarily about what the scale says, right? It would be awesome to get back to where I was pre-Olive, sure. But I'm more focused on feeling good in my body these days, feeling confident in the clothes I'm wearing, feeling strong and capable, and really less about the number on the scale. But really with the last few pounds that I've gained came this heaviness in my body, and I don't feel as strong or as quick in my movements any longer. And as a mom to a 32-pound 2-year-old toddler, right, both being strong and quick are necessary. So I can spend time, right, beating myself up, scolding myself for not starting sooner, for letting myself get to this point, but that won't make me feel any better. And I'm at the point in my journey that I want to focus on what feels good and move as quickly through these moments that don't. So I was recently sharing this with Randy Holloway, my personal coach, a few weeks back. And if you haven't listened to her episode, please check it out. We'll make sure to link it in the show notes. I'd confided in her that I wasn't feeling good about myself, but also that I just didn't know how to find the time to prioritize exercise at the expense of something else. That I would just start a routine in the new year, right? Everything feels lighter in the new year, right? Right when I foresee more help or availability, then it would come easier. Now, I know as a coach, right, her goal is to help me overcome hurdles, challenges, limiting beliefs, remind me of just how powerful I am, that I'm powerful just as I am. But she told me something very simple, and I wanted to share it. She encouraged me to just start now. Anything is further along than nothing. That I didn't have to create a full-blown workout schedule with weight loss in mind, right? I could start small, but the key is to start now. If I work out 2 times a week between now and the end of the year, I will be 12 workouts closer to getting stronger and feeling great in my body. Isn't that so true? To me, that feels doable. 20 minutes a day, 2 times a week was a great place for me to start. Didn't have to be this big, grandiose game plan, but that if I just started now, I'll be that much closer to my goal. And what's amazing is that this advice can be adapted to anything. If I dedicate 1 time a week, 30 minutes at a time, to drafting a solo episode or 2, right, for season 2, I'll be 2 out of 4 of the way done of my solo episodes for season 2 before the end of the year. If I spend 30 minutes of Olive's nap time during the week reading a book, I could probably finish one of the business books that I've been slacking on by the end of the year. So with that said, I can allocate somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes of Olive's nap time every single day during the week to goals that I have for myself. And that allocation still affords me 40 minutes to an hour and 40 minutes of rest time. And I can watch an episode or 2 of ER, which is my current favorite rewatching binge. So think about all that time, 40 minutes to an hour and 40 minutes every single day of rest after I've worked towards a goal of mine. And I'm that many more times closer to achieving the goals I've set for myself before the end of the year, before that new year even rolls around. That feels doable, at least to me when you break it down like that. So I wanted to share and encourage you all listening to think about what is a goal or 2 that you've wanted to achieve but have been putting off. Can you carve out 10, 15, 30 minutes a day for just 1 or 2 days a week to work on it? That is 30 minutes closer than you were before and 2 hours closer by the end of the year. And I don't know about all of you, but for me as a mom, 2 hours is a lot of time. Think of all we can accomplish if we got 2 hours. For me, those 2 hours is more of a luxury than a reality these days. So for those of you looking to make yourself a priority, this concept can be applied. Can you spend 20 minutes journaling, meditating, reading a book, stretching, booking a call with your therapist? The dishes from breakfast or lunch and the laundry, that can all be done after that. So I would encourage you to consider listening to something that makes you smile while you do those mundane everyday tasks. For me, it's listening to an episode of the Mark Groves podcast or Crime Junkies, but it could be your favorite album, holiday music that you can't help but bop around to. So at this point, I pose the question, what will you be focusing on now instead of waiting until the new year? Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please help us out and leave a review wherever you listen, and consider sharing with your friends. If you're interested in learning a bit more about the project or want to share your story, please visit our website linked in our show notes below.